So let's talk about this crazy cyber pandemic situation going on here. Okay, so I looked up Down Detector this morning, and Down Detector is a website that tracks all the websites and everything. And there was an outage, clearly, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, but also T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, Twitter. Twitter had a double hump there. Google, Metro by T-Mobile, Cricket Wireless, Oculus. There you go. That's your thing right there. US Cellular, Pokemon Go, AWS, Telegram, Snapchat, Cloudflare, Straight Talk, Amazon, Reddit, Find My iPhone. That's not a good one.
That's a bad one.
That's a bad one to go down. Like, okay, you need the app to be, or you need to be online for that. That's kind of weak. I guess it makes sense because it's location based, so it kind of makes sense.
Through the cloud, yeah.
Bandwidth, Peacock, Zoom, Coinbase, Quizlet.com. Quizlet.com looks like it's still suffering. TikTok, Spectrum, Xfinity, Steam, Cox, iNet, CenturyLink, Gmail, YouTube, Mediacom,
basically the whole
everything.
internet.
Discord, Quick, but I mean it just goes on and on and on. It's out of control.
Now, I thought it was interesting that most of these things have one thing in common, with the exception of like a couple little ones that you could pick out.
Right.
But most of them have something in common, and that is they're used for disseminating information. Whether it's social media, telecom companies, Google, email companies, chats, cell phones, stuff like that. Most of these companies, their whole thing is communication. So it's just a little suspicious. Why would every internet-based communication device go down at the same time on the same day?
Mm-hmm. And then we look at what the media has highlighted, and it is all about Facebook going down.
All about Facebook.
USA
all about
Today.
Facebook, all about WhatsApp, all about what is it? Instagram.
Messenger. Yeah, Instagram.
It's interesting. Everybody's making this connection between, it's helping to focus on Facebook because there's the recent Facebook whistleblower that came out and leaked documents and did the whole thing about how Facebook knows that it's bad for people and bad for children, and how they purposefully, make it an addictive drug, and how they know it's harming specifically young girls, and how they just don't care and they want to keep doing it. And so most people are like, oh, it's the whistleblower. The whistleblower did it, and so they're down. I think this is a bit of a diversion because the media is not reporting, the dozens of other really big communication outlets or tools that also went down this morning. And I think it's interesting, and we might get into it a little bit later, but I think it's interesting how more than the whistleblower and making this about Zuckerberg and Facebook specifically, all these go down the morning that the Pandora Papers come out. It's almost like somebody hit the panic button when a global network of world leaders, billionaires, and other elite lizard people, are getting their dirty laundry aired out to the rest of the peasants here.
That's what I keep saying about Greta. They've rolled out Greta clearly just out of nowhere, right? They cover her in black goo, put her on the magazine cover, and now she's still doing the blah 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 thing, and it's calling out the elite, it's calling out the older generation. The Panama Papers, as you mentioned, is exposing the network of just the financial stuff, but there's stuff attached to that of the global elite, and how they operate, where they have their wealth stored, and all that kind of stuff. And then this hyper focus on the youth getting inoculated. We'll get into that. The environmental disaster with the oil spill off the coast of California. I don't know. It's all at once. They're like, hey, it's like a Jenga piece got moved and a bunch of stuff fell at the same time.
Quite an exciting morning, and that will we'll certainly be touching back on all this stuff as we get into the show. But I think without further ado, Gonz, I think it's time for the Flippy Update.